Hello everyone and welcome back to our backyard garden. What a beautiful morning, Saturday morning in September. Well, today I want to give you guys another update on our backyard on some of the plants, and we're gonna go through some of the stuff that I did over the past weekend. All right, so here what you can see here, let me start with this plant, but let me come back to this. I want to talk a little bit about some of the tree here that I propagated. You can see the row in the back. Those are Cherimoya. This is a bigger one. This one I had it for almost, I guess, over a year, 2 years now. And some of this smaller one in the 1 gallon pot, as you can see here, they're about maybe 14 inches tall now. I finally transferred them into a 1 gallon pot. They are doing quite well. As you can see, the leaves are really nice and green. They're growing very tall now. So originally they were on the ground, and I transferred them to tiny little, what do you call this? 5-inch little pot like this. And once they start growing, then I transfer them from here to 1 gallon pot, and from the 1 gallon pot to a maybe 5 gallon pot. All right. So this are Cherimoya tree. They are growing from seeds. And they do extremely well in California, and they grow very well. And the transplanting from ground to pot is really easy. They don't get shocked like other tree. So this is an amazing tree, and they grow extremely fast. And the leaf is quite beautiful, as you can see here. It's just nice and beautiful. So this one I just transferred over a week ago. Those in the back probably 2 weeks ago. And you can see here, this one here it's quite tall now, maybe 24 inches now. And it looks thin and skinny. That's just the way they look, all right? That's just the way they look. Once they come up a little taller, what I'll do is I'll trim off the top, so allow them to fatten up, just like this guy, right? So if you look at this one here, this is a 5 gallon pot. So the tree is about maybe 36 inches. And when it come up to the top, you can see that I trim off and then allow it to side branch, and also allow the plant to thicken, the base to thick up a little bit. Look at how thick that is. Now it's a real tree. So this is getting more mature, as you can see here, but it's still slightly green. So once they turn a brownish color, that's when you know that it's somewhat mature, and also when they branch out. Okay, so now they just look flimsy, but that's all right. They're actually very tough tree. Okay, so those are Cherimoya tree. I have maybe 10 of them here. I just love them. I don't know why, I just love them. Now another one that I propagated are the Plumeria, the flowers, as you can see here. So I show you guys, I think in several videos back, I show you guys some of the Plumeria that I propagated. I think I did about maybe 10 or more. Now all the cuttings, those cuttings right there, including this one, including all this right here, all the same, from the same batch. In other words, they're all from the same, they're all from the same tree, and about a year old. So they're from last year cutting. And some of them actually produce flower. It's quite amazingly. This one actually produced flower. Now people think that I just chop them off the tree and the flower is already there. I just chop them off the tree and put them in the ground. No. So they were just completely bare, branch. Literally just bare. There's nothing on it. So once they start producing roots, I would put them into the pot. And somehow they actually produce a flower, because I think the weather is really hot, and that pushed the plant to do something quite unique. So this two right here and all this here, and including those in the background right there, all the same, from the same batch from 1 year. It just looked bigger because I had this one in a 1 gallon, 5 gallon pot, and this one in a 1 gallon. They don't need that much soil. Plumerias are almost like cactus. They don't need much soil. They need to well drain. They like to be dry, on the dry side, but they do like water. You can water them frequently, but as long as the water is drained, they'll be fine. They don't like to sit in the roots don't like to sit in water. They will die, they'll rot. So this one here also producing the flowers. You can see there, beautiful. So this plant here is about maybe 24 inches. When I propagate this, I like to usually cut off the branch with more than one, what do you call it, branches. So this one is quite unique. This one's different. I just tried this one out. This one is one single, which looks kind of funny. Again, typically I like to do it with 1, 2, or 3, just to give it a little balance, right? So same thing here, as you can see here. So majority of my cuttings are 3 branches. As you can see, they are tilting over because the tops are getting heavy, all right? And this one here is just gorgeous here. This one actually produced a flower already, and the flower is already gone. Look at that. So this one's also in 1 gallon pot, and just beautiful. And all this cutting here, I still have it here. Somehow they have not rooted yet for whatever reason, but they're not dying. They actually still, look at, they still alive. Now they tend to look a little bit dried out here because I guess the sun, the sun exposed to the sun, that's why. So I should not leave them in the sun, just cover them up in a nice shaded area and they'll be just fine. Okay, so this one here, I do need to transplant to another pot. This is the old one, and as you can see here, it's very dry. So I did some transplant more, and you can see here, 5 gallon pot. This one needs to come out also. All right, so that's the Plumeria, and let's talk about another plant in the ground. So here is another plant I want to show you. This is the Taro stem, whatever you want to call it, Taro leaf. Sometimes it's confused with elephant ear. These are different. This is the edible version. You can actually use the stem here, right? So this is typically a vegetable used in Asian cuisine, in soup. The stem here, you can cut off the stem here and use pretty much from here down. So, all right, and the plant propagate very well. Originally, several months ago, I only have 1 single plant. So this is the mother plant, if you want to call it. Oh, the strawberries are really growing. Look at this. So now they are producing runners, and as you can see, let me go to the other side. So this is the mother plant, and here, hopefully I can show you. All right, give me 1 second. Oh. So now we have more runners. So that large plant right there produced this, that, and a whole bunch more. So there's about 10, maybe 10 plants here that I do need to separate some of them and move them out a little bit further out so they can propagate more. As you can see, this one here, it's the baby one, but it's grown just as big as the mother plant. And you can see that it's about only 6 inches apart. That one's a little bit further out, and then now they're producing a whole bunch of plants. So this is a kind of plant that you don't need to buy, a whole bunch of them. You just need to buy 1 plant, and during the growing season, like summer, from spring to summer, they will grow real fast, and they will produce more runners, and then from there on you can dig them up and transplant them somewhere else, and they will produce more plants for you. Now, given that the weather has to be mild, they tend to wilt, and usually they don't survive in a very cold, freezing temperature. But in California, they do survive in the winter, and they'll come back very strong. As long as the roots are not damaged or not freeze up, they will come back the following season. So what I will do is I will transplant them out, and then maybe spread them out a little bit. And then from the top here, look at this, how big the leaf is. Look at that, it's gorgeous, right? Okay. I think also in my last video I mentioned that usually when you grow this for food, you want to, the main plant, you want to have maybe 1, 2, 3, most 4. So the leaves, the stems are nice and really robust and healthy. Anything else, you just trim them off. Okay, so this is how you get a lot of free plants. You don't need to buy a lot of, plants. It costs a lot of money. And look at the strawberry. Even though I removed all the strawberry, I had one in here in the pot, and look at this. And it's just starting to grow out of the pot. And from the pot, it's actually also producing more runner. Look at this. All right, everybody. That's it for our beautiful today. So this is a Taro stem, and some of this here Plumeria, flower tree, and some of this here are the Cherimoya tree. So please post a comment if you wanna ask me anything. And thank you for watching this video. I hope you have a wonderful day and stay healthy. Thank you. Bye for now.